What's up, YouTube? This is True Raw for TV. So I want to give a shout out to Giannis Antetokounmpo for having a record-breaking MVP performance last night during the All-Star game. He scored not only 35 points, but set a record for at least an All-Star game record for most field goals attempted without a miss. He went a perfect 16 of 16 from the field to go for 35 points. And he led his team to a 170 to 150 victory. Um, Ever since they've changed the format, I think it was back in 2018, from a West Coast, East Coast thing to making it, Team LeBron versus Team whoever is the top vote getter in the other conference. Ever since then, LeBron James is 4-0, so he has been getting a lot of praise as a general manager. One thing you guys say about LeBron James, whether you like him or hate him, is that he is very savvy and very good at piecemealing a coalition. You know what I'm saying? Putting together a squad that will be formidable. He's very good at that. He has a very high basketball IQ. Anything else you don't want to give him credit for, he has a very high basketball IQ. Um, so You know, that's pretty much all I got to say. I know Giannis has been a little bit under the radar this year. He's not really in the MVP discussion. The Bucks are not dominating the Eastern Conference like they did the last couple of years. Um, Giannis is having a good year, but um, he's not putting up astronomical, prime Lou Alcindor Kareem numbers this year, but good numbers. Milwaukee's still there, but most people just don't think that they're the type of team that's a championship contender. And I think it's more because of the fact that Giannis doesn't have the type of game that can confound coaches and give defenses different things to have to worry about. We've seen the last couple of years that once you contain Giannis in the paint, once you wall him off, he doesn't really have anything else that he could throw at you. He's supposed to be working on a mid range or a jumper. I don't even, a lot of people say he need to get a 3-point shot. I don't know about that. That's just not his game. If he was just to get a jumper, a simple 12 to 14-foot jumper, that would add dimensions to his game. A jumper, a hook shot, gets one or two basic post moves that, go to moves, that would add so much to his game. And that's what he needs to work on. But he also needs, in my opinion, when you look at basketball from a historical context, he needs a dynamic perimeter player. He needs somebody who, because he has so many limitations, LBZ pointed this out in a podcast recently with LB too. Because Giannis is not a good foul shooter, what you would want is a perimeter guy who has a good mid range and 3-point shot and is also a fine free throw shooter. And you will want him to be able to, you know, finish in the last seconds of games where Giannis sometimes struggles. Or when defenses collapse on him, now all of a sudden Giannis is wide open, and then Giannis is vibing for lobs or dunks or whatever. Because now you got to give defenses different looks, different things to worry about. So that's what I think, man. I think that they really fucked up when they got rid of Malcolm Brogdon because he was the closest thing to that. Malcolm Brogdon had a mid range, he had a 3-point shot, Um, he's an excellent foul shooter, somewhere in the 85 to 90% range. Great 3-point shooter, somewhere in the 40% range. Uh, and he could create his own shot, and he could help others get their own shot. And they got rid of him. And if you've noticed, ever since they got rid of him, or whenever he's not on the floor, they don't look like the. I'm talking about when he was still there. They didn't look like the same team. When he was still there, when he was on the floor, when he was healthy, they were a championship level team. When he went out and came back, and he wasn't quite the same guy because he was still dealing with that plantar fasciitis injury. The Bucks weren't the same team because then they had to, then they only had, Middleton, who's a great spot up shooter. He's a really good number three guy, in my opinion, but he's not a number two. He's not a sidekick. So to me, Giannis needs a dynamic perimeter guy to be successful for the Bucks to win. So that's all I got to say. Tell me what you guys think.